everyone, what's up? My name is Lydia. Welcome to Burn Pilates. We're going to be flowing through a class today where we're going to be using a set of light handheld dumbbells. Mine are 3 pounds. I don't suggest going heavier than maybe 3, 4s. We're going to use a set of ankle weights as well. I also don't suggest going too heavy for that option. You just want to listen to your lower back. And of course, if ever you feel any discomfort, don't use the ankle weights. Mine are 2 pounds. We're also going to be using a Pilates ball, and this can easily be modified. If you don't have a ball, you can use a rolled up towel. You can use anything that gives you just a little bit of squeeze and cushioning. And of course, if you don't have any equipment, you know, if you've been doing my classes, that all exercises can be done without the equipment. We're gonna set up, have your mat rolled out, have some space to work out in, keep some water close by, and let's get right into this mat flow. Just make your way down into a child's pose. Arms stretched out, forehead relaxed. Just take a couple breaths here to connect. Inhale into your nose, fill out your lungs through your sides and back body. And exhale through your mouth. Opening up your palms. Slowly breathing in, unravel one vertebrae at a time, making your way all the way up onto all fours. Hands a little wider than your own shoulder width. Relax your shoulders. Lift your gaze. Take a couple cat-cows. Just notice how you feel today. Acknowledge any tightness in the body. Take note of it. Breathing in as you arch the spine. And exhaling as you round. Go for one more. Pressing all the way back, heels together. Child's pose. Really set your intention for this class today. You don't need to be distracted. There's nothing that's more important in this moment right now. I want to encourage you to always listen to your body and also make the appropriate adjustments that you need for you. We're going to start to move. Unravel one vertebrae at a time. Separate your feet, knees stacked underneath your hip bones. Arms open just a little bit wider than your own shoulder width. Think of collarbone width. From here, you're going to send your tailbone back. Long, flat spine, look forward, and on your exhale, reach your right leg all the way out. We're gonna go like that for one more set of 8. Inhale, exhale. Working to feel the entire stretch through the back of your right leg as you extend your torso over, really focusing on your breath here. Inhale as you return, sit your hips back, and exhale as you fully stretch, activating through your core. And as you stretch, you're igniting your glute, getting all your leg muscles to work with your core. Inhale, prepare, left leg extends all the way out. Let's go for 8. Deep breath in, sitting back, increasing your length and also increasing your awareness as you feel the second side. 4 more. Last set of 3. Deep breath in. Exhale, navel to spine for 2. Go for that last one here. And finish coming all the way down through tabletop. Flex your toes and lift right away up to downward dog. Walk this out. Really try to hold a stretch here. Feel where your heels are seeking the ground, where your calves are getting some lengthening action. We're not walking out. We're going to lift the heels up, and you are going to come all the way down to a floating tabletop. Release your knees and then open up. Let's go through a cat-cow spine here. As you press to the floor, flexing and grounding, lifting right away back up through downward dog, heels to floor. Again, inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower knees to floor. Open your spine, let your belly fall, and then pulling your abs all the way up using your breath, stretching on back. Part of your movement here, the feet are activating. You're allowing for your spine to be activated through your breath work, focusing on your core, extending through the backs of your legs. Take your full breath in, looking up, and exhale, pressing back through the floor. We're going to lower all the way down, and from here, bring right away your right leg all the way out, extending in parallel. Keep your left toes flexed and lower your left forearm underneath your collarbones. We're lifting and lowering in parallel. Inhale as you lower, touch the floor, and exhale, lift. And lifting up no higher than your sit bone alignment. Really check in with your posture here. Make sure your lower spine isn't arching. You're not swinging your leg. You're pushing down as much as you are pulling up. There's work coming from the glute, from the pelvic stabilizers, which includes your abs, your adductors and abductors. Inhale and exhale for 6. Last set of 5 and 4. Keep extending back and controlling the lift and lower. Equal connectivity through both directions. Finishing your last one here, you're going to bring your leg all the way back under, lower your forearms, flex your toes, and let's lift right away to a floating tabletop. Take a full breath in as you lower and exhale, lift. Tiny lowers and lifts, just enough that you feel the presence of the mat, but you're not fully letting your weight drop. You want to also press down with your wrists all the way through your forearms. Make sure you're fully connected. You're grounding, and grounding is a part of the resistance work that you're applying right here in your body. Take your knees down. Right forearm stays on the floor, left arm, align it next to your left wrist, stretch your left leg back, and from here with pointed toes, you lift and lower. Right away, focus on the same technique that you applied for the first side. Hips are square, abs are keeping your hips square. Your glute is doing the work to lift and lower the leg. You shouldn't just feel that the lift is important. Focus on both directions. Inhale and exhale. As you increase the stretch through your posterior chain, you also want to equally feel that you are stretching out through your torso. You're not arching your back. You don't want to allow for anything to start to capsize. You want to put focus into your energy. You want to put focus into your work and not just let the movement start to make you work. Work from the get-go. 5, 4, 3, last 2. Last one this time. Take your left toes and stack them in the floor. Keep length to the back of your kneecap. We're gonna go to our first plank. Arms are long unless you need to modify in your forearms. Bring your right leg to join the left. Squeeze your inner thighs tight and stretch your upper body through your arms. Now turn on your lats. Imagine you're holding tennis balls in your armpits. You're squeezing them in. From here, we're gonna start to press forward and back. You can always modify by staying static in center. You can also always go into a modified plank variation. Make your choices as you need. Breathe in and exhale for 8, 7, 6. Train to strengthen the chest and back. Getting those arms engaged. Last time from here. You're gonna, from here, take your right knee down to the floor and stretch, then left. Going right away into a touchdown like a mountain climber, but making sure that the knee doesn't pull into the chest. You're not here. You're stopping underneath your pubic bone and pelvis. Let's go for one more set of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Take your knees down, and from here, stretch. Arms out. Relax your chin to your sternum and feel the back of your neck grow long. Slowly, you're going to unravel one vertebrae at a time, making your way all the way back up onto all fours. And from here, stacking your forearms down. Holding into the belly, feel that your lower back right away is supported from the front. So again, you're going into abdominals. Flexing your toes back, finding your plank. Forearms are stabilizing you. Try not to have the wrists be limp. Push them down into the ground. It so helps stabilize you more. Same thing that we did in long arm forearm plank. We're gonna take our body weight forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Hips staying level. You're like a paddleboard. You're staying completely calm on that water. Squeeze your inner thighs in. Use your skeletal frame to ignite your midline. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Take your knees softly, lower them to the floor, and then swing your legs all the way around. You're gonna grab your Pilates ball. If you don't have it, grab your towel And then grab your hand weights. Place your weights onto either side of your hips so you can easily find them. The ball is gonna go right in to the lumbar, into the sacrum. So it's not in the lower back, so that the lower back can be in what I call giving birth position. You're gonna start with the ball in your sacrum so that you can go into your C-spine and really hollow out the abs. Collarbones are wide, find the position, grab your weights, and always know that you can eliminate the weights if you're feeling lower back strain. Elbows come in towards your ribs. Deep breath in, exhale, reach your arms up. Try to get your arms right next to your temples and don't move fast. We're pressing up, but the most important part of this is to pull down. Imagine there's resistance cords attached to your weights and wrists so that when you come down, you're pulling, getting right into triceps, lats, getting to the backs of your shoulders. The higher you go with the arms, the more temptation your chest will be to pop. So just pay attention to that form. You don't want to pop your chest up. Let's go for a last set of 3. Wrist staying strong. Check that your wrists are in alignment with your elbows and forearms. They're not going to serving tray. Deep breath in and exhale. I am shaking already. Last one from here. Take your arms all the way in towards your waist. From here, stretch your right arm out. Reach, pull down. Reach, pull down, and really pull. Make that muscle when you pull. We're gonna go for 4 more. Collarbones wide, abs tight. Last one, now to the left. Deep breath into stretch, exhale, pull. Give yourself a real pull. Try to get your elbow down to the floor each time. And exhale, go for 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Inhale and exhale, sit on up. Take your weights to the ground, bring your ball right between your inner thighs. You're gonna take your hands next to your hips. Fingers could face forward or from side to side. Just make sure your hands are not facing back. Super important. Either left and right or forward. Ground to your feet, inhale, squeeze your ball, exhale, lift, reverse bridge, all the way up. Eyes can look towards the ceiling unless you have to modify, in which case you could stay looking forward. Exhale, squeeze the ball, lift. You're stretching out the fronts of your shoulders, activating through your posterior chain, getting your inner thighs to engage. Trying to bring the hips all the way up to the level of your kneecaps. 10 toes are on the floor. Don't just use your heels. Get the feet grounded. Last 4. And lift. 3. And lift. 2. And lift. Last one, deep breath in. Exhale, lift. You're gonna lower your hips halfway and squeeze your glutes up, making sure that your arms are still stretched, palms are wide, eyes where you need. Support your neck as you wish and as you choose. Squeeze that ball. Let's go. 1 more, 2, and 1. Take your hips all the way down, find the floor. Keeping your weights on either side of your hips, roll on down, keep your ball between your inner thighs if you have it today. Pick up your legs at tabletop, and from here, reach your hands all the way down next to your hips. You wanna stabilize with your shoulders down on the mat and make sure your collarbones are wide. Make sure your upper back is connected. If ever you need to modify, take your hands underneath your tailbone. We're gonna start to stretch and bend at the knees in a 90-degree, not just to the hip, hip to knee, 90 degrees, knee to hamstring, 90 degrees, up and bend. Notice if your feet are trying to drop lower down to your butt, stop at that 90 degrees tabletop. We're stretching into the backs of the hamstrings while bringing attention into activation of your deep core stabilizers, which include your transverse abdominis, your inner thighs. Start to squeeze the ball just a bit more. We're gonna go up and down for a last set of 4. 4, 3, rib cage knitted together. You're gonna take your legs, hold the tabletop. Now flex and stretch. Dorsi and plantar flexion, waking up the feet. Such an important part of the body, those feet. Now you're gonna keep squeezing the ball. Work for that tension and hold the next flex that you have. Now you can choose to either stay down or you can take a thoracic curl Hands go right behind the nape of your neck. Your neck is supporting your arms. Stretch and bend. Second round, keeping your feet flexed. Squeeze that ball every time you lengthen. Exhale and inhale. 8. See that your legs are working in parallel right here. Exhale and inhale for 4, 3, 2. Last one. Take your legs back through tabletop and point, flex. Every time you flex your feet, make sure your toes are still aligning up in parallel. They're not turning out, they're staying square. Inhale, exhale. Squeeze the ball just a bit more every time you flex your feet. Point, flex, squeeze. Point, flex, squeeze. Exhale for 3. Last 2. Last 1. You're gonna take your feet, bring them down to the floor. From here, reach your arms next to your hips, grab your weights if you choose to use them. You're gonna stack your elbows and forearms right into that 90 degrees. Push your shoulders down into the mat. Squeeze into your ball. Your heels are aligned with your sit bones. We're gonna lift the hips up into a bridge. Lift and lower, up off the floor. Upper back is staying heavy. This is a Pilates bridge, not a yoga bridge. So you're not trying to arch up into what would eventually be a wheel. You're just lifting your hips up, finding this long diagonal. Deep breath in, lift. We're gonna add the arms in opposition. As your hips lower, the arms stretch. Pull down. Get those backs of the triceps to fully integrate into your mat, and maybe even push them down just a bit to feel that connectivity to your ground. Lift and lower. One more set of 8. Shoulders wide, shoulders dropped. Exhale for one more set of 4. Lift and lower. 3. Now we're gonna hold the bridge up, and you're gonna continue with the arms, but the arms, palms turn forward. Open into your chest press. Open and exhale as you stretch. Widening through those collarbones. Make sure the weights in the arms are stopping right over top of your shoulders. You're not pushing the weights in. Your shoulders are here, not in the center of your body. So get really, really, really attentive and hone in on where you can start to work into the practice of finding a little bit more perfection in your form. Take your right arm, hold it up, and left arm lowers down first, then right arm. Every time you lift up, squeeze your ball just a bit more. Inhale and exhale. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Take your hips all the way down. From here, bend your elbows first so you can safely place your weights onto the side of your hips. You're gonna take your ball all the way out of your legs. Give yourself a quick little butterfly. Just something to release to the insides of the hips. Good. Now from here, you're gonna take one leg up at a time. Reach your ball into your soles of the feet. You're in an open butterfly and your feet are cupping the ball. So just notice, my ball isn't between my ankles where my knees are in parallel. My feet are cupping. This is the position I'm gonna show you on camera. Just like that. So the feet are holding the ball, kind of like little monkey paws. You can stay down or you can have your hands right behind the nape of your neck, holding in thoracic curl. Make sure that you're not scrunching your neck. We wanna keep some space. This is for the abs, it's not for the neck that you're in thoracic curl. Now from here, you're gonna start to go into a squeeze of the ball through the feet, through the upper inner thighs, keeping your legs open. So you should feel this right away. Now, as we work the form, your goal is to have your ball right in front of your pelvic bone, pubic bone I should say, and your hip bone, so right in front of your pelvic floor. Your knees are open in the first position that you yourself can hold, and you are never letting go of that ball. You are wrapping your big and pinky toes around your ball evenly and equally. Squeeze the ball for 8, 7, 6. Try to hold a little deeper each time. Go for one more 4, one more 3, last 2, last 1. Now from here, you're gonna open your legs. It's very small. I don't even know if you can see necessarily on camera, which is fine because you're working your external rotation for yourself. So you're opening up from the hips. You're trying to cup and round the ball just a bit more with your feet. Keep the ball up. Don't let your feet sink. Go for a last 8, 7, 6. Little squeezes as you open. Last set of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your feet onto your ball, and from here, straighten your legs out. Give yourself a moment to release. You're gonna flex your feet on your ball or on the floor if you don't have a ball. Keep the tension to the backs of your legs, push down and lift, thoracic curl. Pelvis is a neutral spine, which means you have a light lumbar space that's natural for you. You're not trying to tuck your butt. You're trying to keep your hips square by engaging through the backs of your hamstrings to remain stable. Deep breath in and exhale. Rib cage working. Now from here, you're gonna take a last lift up, reach for your right weight, keep your right leg where it is, take your left leg up, go to tabletop, point your toes, reach the weight, stretch out, lengthen, and bend. Hold the tabletop as you reach your weight all the way to the inside of your leg. Maybe you touch the inside of your thigh. Inhale and exhale. Now notice my right arm. It's going just to my temple. It's not going past my shoulder. You should always be able to see your limbs in your peripheral without changing your posture and changing where your neck is aligned. Inhale and exhale, reach. Deep breath in and exhale. We're gonna add a thoracic curl with the movement. Stay lifted, reach, breathe out, breathe in, stretch away. Keep following the trajectory with your upper body as you use your weight. Stopping your left leg right over top of your hip as you bend. Inhale, exhale, last two. Last one, lift. Hold this here and see if you can go to a small pulse, lifting your shoulders just a tiny inch more off the floor, using your abs for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Take your left foot down to the ball, place your right weight to the floor, bring both hands back behind the nape of your neck, restabilize your legs and thighs, stretch into the ball. Now nod on up, take your weight into your left hand, keep your left leg where it is, right leg lifts, tabletop. We hold thoracic curl. Inhale, stretch, reach, exhale, bend. Hips are staying stable, that left leg is extended and you are engaged through your hamstring to hold that stability. Don't let your left arm fly back. Control from the abs. The shoulder can do a lot of work and we don't want it to. You're finding that alignment. Whenever I see people do this fast, I'm like, oh my gosh, your poor shoulder. You're not using your abs, you're just using momentum. So really hone in right here. Stay lifted, we add the curl. Deep breath in on the lower, you lengthen and exhale, lift up. Navel to spine, hips square. Push down into the ball. Let's go for a last set of 3 and exhale. For 2. Last one. Hold your right leg in tabletop. Keep extending your left arm forward and small pulse like you want to touch your right ankle. Exhale, lift. One last set of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your right foot all the way towards your ball. Place your weight down. And from here, relaxing your head, walk your ball all the way in towards your hands. You're gonna take your ball out of your feet. And from here, we're gonna go right away into one more exercise, lying on our back. Take your legs up to tabletop. Bring your ball right between your ankles. If you need to modify, you can have it between your knees. Now you're gonna set up with your legs in a true tabletop, shoulders down, tailbone is heavy. We're gonna flex and point, knees in alignment with those hip bones. Inhale and exhale. Flex and point. Let's go for 4. Just setting up those arches, making sure that you have that tension and connectivity in the squaring off of your hips. Toes stay pointed. Inhale, reach your arms all the way out and back. Feel the stretch through your rib cage. Now close your ribs using your obliques and exhale. Nodding up, we're setting for 100. We're gonna do 50, okay? Here we go. Start to inhale. Deep breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Choose if you want your legs long. You do you today. Deep breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time. From here, hold the legs, lift in tabletop, take an inhale, reach your arms all the way out and back, and exhale, arms move from the shoulders first, and then you lift. Follow that form. Your upper body uncoils, the arms reach all the way back, and you stay heavy until your arms pass shoulders. Exhale, deep breath in, and exhale, ribs closing in. Go for a last one here. Inhale, squeeze that ball. And exhale, arms reach through the shoulder line, nod on up. Grab your hamstrings and roll all the way up. Take your ball all the way out of your feet and just give a quick butterfly to the legs. You can open up your chest. In the stretches, there's always gonna be something that sort of feels naturally good to do. So since we're in a flow, do it and then get yourself set up right away. We're gonna go with the ankle weights on. If you, again, need to modify, the beauty about doing any workout on YouTube is you can press pause and come back to it. Another beautiful thing that I love about YouTube workouts, even for myself, is that some days I do the whole thing with equipment, and another day, if I love that workout enough, I'll do it without the equipment because every day is different. You'll always hear me talk about that. You're gonna set up on all fours, and what I want you to do is have your weights for your arms just next to about where your side obliques and hands are, so that way you can easily grab. We're coming back onto all fours, and you're setting up right away with your shoulders away from ears, lats are engaged. Extend your left leg out. Wow, 50-50 with Pilates instructors, whether or not we get the direction right. It's a 50-50. Okay, guys, take your left leg all the way up and hold it on your hip alignment. Flex your glute, make sure your hips are equal with your leg. We're gonna push up, you're gonna take your nose down to the floor, open your elbows wide, and because you're lowering through your chest and working through your arms and upper back, you're trying to keep the connection to your lats, breathing in and exhale, press. Your left leg is only lifting because like a teeter-totter, your upper body is going down. So just note, I'm not lifting my leg higher. My upper body is taking my leg up in opposition to what's happening as I deepen down to the floor. Let's go for one more set of 4 from here. Keep stretching that left leg back. Tighten up your glute, quad, and hamstring. Core is on always. You should feel your abs the whole time because that's how hard you're working to keep your hips square and not let that leg arch your lower back out. From here, tap the floor, keep the arms long, lower, and lift. Inhale and exhale. One more set of 4, 3, 2, last one. Plant your left toes to the ground, and from here, take your right leg back, find your plank. Squeeze your inner thighs strong. We're gonna hold this position here. Lats are on. Let's stay 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Take your left leg down. Your right leg is already stretched out. Make sure your left knee is underneath your hip. Take your right leg all the way up. Hold this here. We push up, down, and stretch. Deep breath in, and exhale, press. Try to get your nose right down to the floor. Keep opening up to your chest. Keep squeezing into your lats. Inhale and exhale. Again, the leg's only lifting higher because you're taking your upper body down. Last 4, 3, 2. Finishing with one more here. Keep your arms long but not locked. Holding on those lats and touch the floor. 8, 7, stretching out. 6, kneecaps staying parallel. It's tough to keep parallel. That's where you're gonna get more abdominals with your glute. 3, 2, last one. Take your leg and from here, bring it all the way down. Knees are stacked underneath your hips. Lower your right forearm to the floor. Have it parallel to your collarbones. Take your left weight and from here, pull your elbow all the way up. Now, it's really tempting to twist. Keep your body square. Make sure your shoulder hasn't dropped or that it's doing any kind of funky lift. I show this on camera so that way you can kind of see visually and check in with your body. So you're like, what's she doing? I'm showing you what not to do, essentially. Now your elbow's up. It's glued next to your ribs. Your eyes are forward and that right forearm is working. If you need to flex your toes to the ground to help stabilize your hips, do so. We're stretching and bending. We're working for that left tricep. And this is gonna work your obliques the more you're able to stay square. Collarbones are wide. Think of both of your shoulders. They're like headlights of a car facing down. Stretch, bend, full stretch, lengthen, feel your muscle tighten up. If ever you feel a light little tremble when you bend, that's how you know your elbow is pretty much in the perfect alignment position. It's tough to keep that elbow planted in space. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, last 3, last 2. Finishing with one more here. You're gonna hold your arm in, take your opposite leg out, right leg goes out behind you, and you lift your right leg from the floor. Now every time you stretch that left arm out, you're gonna point your right foot, go for that full length. Inhale, exhale, stretch, flex, stretch. One last, 8, 7, 6. Next, stretching forward, eyes down, 4. Keep lengthening through the back of your right knee. Don't let a bend exist. Don't cheat yourself that possibility to train correctly. Hold out, stay for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, take the weight to the floor. Bring your knee all the way underneath you. And from here, stretching back out to child's pose. Just give yourself a quick moment to reset. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through your mouth. Stay for one more breath in. And exhale. Good. Unraveling, coming all the way up, planting your left forearm to the floor. Grab your right weight with your right hand. Make sure your knees are stacked underneath your hip bones. Pull your right elbow up. Shoulders are square to the floor. Neck is long. Extend, lengthen your tricep, bend and stretch. Full stretch, bend. Always holding that stretch for a moment where you can feel your muscles isolate. No different than a plank. You're trying to get your tricep muscle to fully lengthen, hold, then bend. Lengthen, hold, then bend. Reach. Neck is long. Hone in on your obliques and make sure your shoulders are square to that floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. You're gonna hold your weight still taut in your right arm. Keep your elbow next to your ribs. Send your left leg all the way out. Lift your left leg up from the floor. Make sure your hips are square. And as we extend that right arm back into the tricep extension, you point, then flex the left foot. Reach, bend. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Stretch that left leg. For 3, 2, last one, hold everything out. 4, 3, shoulders and hips are square for 2. Last one, take your weight down safely. Take your leg all the way down. You're gonna bring it back to a child's pose stretch. Upper back relaxes, get your neck heavy and just drop your weight. Good, when you're ready, slowly using the ground, unravel. Roll your shoulders out, give yourself a nice little upper back open. We're gonna come onto our sides, and what you can do is keep one dumbbell right in front of you. You can also keep your ball somewhat close by to grab. We're gonna come down onto the forearm, and just note that you can always come all the way down with your neck relaxed. If you're on the forearm, this is what I want you to take note of, and I'm taking my time to explain this because 90% of the time, I do not see people use form. I see people going into what I call watching television position. What does that look like? It looks like how it sounds. Shoulder relaxed, forearms drawn in, the neck is swirled, and look, my left side is collapsing. You're using your ground from that left forearm to what? Press away. Obliques are lifted. Use your forearm in the ground as much as you can. Your legs are in a clam. You're extending right leg out and bend right away, full stretch. Have your right hand on your hip or on the floor or behind the nape of your neck. But make sure that it's somewhere where you can fully work the form of pushing away from the ground. Left obliques are lifted. I even use my right hand underneath my obliques to pick them up. Another little tip is that if your left wrist is close to you, of course you're gonna slouch. If you take your left wrist a little further away, you're more able and apt to pull the shoulder back and create that space from your left obliques. Now with the right leg, this is your form. You're stretching out completely on a parallel to your hip, going to a 180 line, and notice my leg, it's not going higher than my hip. Maybe it's in between the shoulder and hip height, but it's definitely not here. I'll show you what we don't want. You don't want to be lifting. Do you see where my hips are turning out when my leg goes too high? Do you see how my leg is externally rotating as it goes up? No bueno. Take a stretch all the way out, one long line. Bend and stretch. One more set of 8, just like this. You can always look down, change your gaze, let your neck stretch out. Whew. One more 4, and stretch. 3, last 2, last 1. From here, take your leg, bring it all the way in. Give yourself a little quick tap out. Those ankle weights are no joke. We're adding on. Grab your dumbbell. Take your right arm all the way in towards your waist. Keep pressing through the floor. Make sure your left shoulder is in alignment with your right. Your collarbones are long. Stretch up to the ceiling and then pull your elbow back down to your hips. You're finding 90 degrees in that right elbow and arm, and you're always expanding through your back and chest. So notice that my arm, it's going up to the ceiling in one line. My weight is stacked over top of my ribs. I'm not here over top of my ear. That's a diagonal. We want to be no different than if I was standing, shoulder alignment. So you're using your own anatomy to check your form. Aligning up, shoulder, then hip. Pull down, pull. Try to get that feeling of your lat. You want to get your back to engage. The focus is on the pull down. All right, I hope you're ready. We're going to be adding on with the leg. We're going to take the leg all the way back out with the arm reaching up just like this. Inhale, lower, exhale, stretch. Keep breathing and lengthening for 8, 7, 6, 5, hip static and square. Last 4, last 3, last 2, last 1. You're gonna take your arm all the way in, place your weight to the floor with your fist. If you don't wanna use the weight for this last part here, you don't have to. You're gonna bring your heels in towards your glutes. My feet are close to my butt. I'm using my floor and I'm coming up into my modified plank position. Station your left arm so that you are in support of this position here. And if you're not doing it today, you can always modify and just do the arm work staying down. Once your arm is lifted, choose how you want to work your hips, your obliques, and your leg. If you want that right leg all the way out onto your hip alignment, this is the time to lift it. You're holding the stretch, and from here, as we bring our arm down with a straight elbow, a fully executed, connected tricep and bicep, you stop at your shoulder height, not dropping past your shoulder, right that shoulder. Your head should always be in the center. The arm should never pass where that shoulder or neck is. Deep breath in, lower. Exhale, lift on up. Inhale, lower, hold shoulder back. And lower. And lift. Hips staying up, use your floor for 4. Last set of 3. For 2. Engage through your back. Be really attentive not to let the arm lower too far. It's very tempting. We're holding up on our last set of work, pulsing right leg. Lift 10, 9, keep stretching out. Fully execute that engagement through your muscles for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your hips down first. Softly lower your weight down to the floor. Bring your legs all the way in and swing them around. Second side. Setting up as you need. You can always roll your mat. Give yourself as much support as you need underneath your forearm and elbow. Checking that your feet are aligned with your tailbone, with your sit bone. Knees are in your clam. Now we're starting with the arm. From here, we're not starting with the arm. I almost got carried away. Keep your left hand on your hip. Just keep that weight close by. See, even your Pilates teacher needs a second because I'm working with you in this. Here we are, we're in it to win it. Make sure you're pressing away from the ground. Right obliques are lifted, and from here, we stretch the left leg all the way out and return. Reach and return, fully planting that left inner thigh into the right because you want to train that landing. It's kind of like an airplane. You don't want to take off or land where there's lots of bumps. Like you're making it smooth and smooth. Reach. Check in that you are again accentuating that lift of your right obliques by pushing down into your floor. Reach and return. Whew. Feeling the second side come in maybe a little faster. If you're with me and you are feeling that burn come in already, breathe. Great reminder. Embrace the challenge and accept it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Now, leg relaxes, pick up the weight, stretch your arm up and pull into your hip and reach, bend, stretch. Your arm is pulling as much as it's pressing. And you're aligning your weight up right over top of your ribs, not over top of your shoulder. Pull. Get into the back. We're gonna add the leg, lower and stretch. Ooh, everything together. Deep breath in and exhale for 8 more. 7, stretch. 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. Last one. Take your weight to the floor with your fist. Bring your heels close to your butt, and we lift right away first into that modified side plank. Take your arm all the way in, reach your arm all the way up, find that extension, and if you choose to take your left leg all the way up, and holding that extension, taking your arm, lowering it all the way down onto your shoulder alignment and lifting on up. Inhale as you lower, shoulder pulling back, making sure not to allow your arm to drop past your shoulder. Be really, really specific about this form. Breathing out to lift. And inhale. And exhale, stretch. You can always look down if you need at your forearm. Release your neckline. Choose as you need to work. Change your gaze, change your focus. Try not to rush and go for just a few last reps here. Inhale to lower. Exhale to reach. Pulsing up, leg lifting up and down, finishing strong. Lift tiny, final set here of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your leg all the way down. Release your weight to the floor. Let's take those ankle weights off right away. We're gonna come onto the back and stretch it out. Grab your hamstrings, roll all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. And starting with the left foot, flexing over top of your right quad. This is enough. Stay here if it feels good. I like to lightly press my knee open just to allow for a bit more accommodation of grounding in my stretch. And of course, if you want to take it up a notch, you can always grip your hands from around your back, right hamstring, and take it up to the figure 4. Whenever you're stretching, start to slow your breath down. Focus on the feeling of opening up and use, again, your left hand against your left knee if you want to lightly open wider through the stretch, and just applying that resistance and feedback with your right hand behind your right hamstring to make sure that your knee is stacked over top of your hip. Give yourself a good moment to breathe. And then when you're ready, switching sides. This is definitely, by the way, not enough time to stretch in terms of your exercise. If you're thinking, well, why aren't we stretching for longer then? It's because I want you to be focused on learning what you yourself need. And I don't want to have this video be so long that people get really discouraged by seeing the time and think, oh my gosh, I don't have time to commit to this workout. So we commit to the movement, but listen to me as your trainer. I'm encouraging you to take note. These muscles are sore, they're tight. You want to stretch. You want to give yourself a little bit more time always in your days to stretch. As we age, we lose mobility and we lose stability, and it's the things that we have to focus on the most in terms of keeping our body operating well. Because you are with this vehicle for your whole life. You don't get to trade it in and get a 2023 model. You gotta keep this, whatever year you were born, that's your model. You gotta keep it going for the longevity of your life. Take your feet to the floor, take your arms to a cactus position as you twist and windshield towards the right. Just look towards your left. Take an inhale, come through center, and exhale towards the opposite side. Keep your legs in center. Take your ball, if you have it, lift up into your bridge and just scoop the ball, not underneath your lumbar spine, but underneath your sacrum, right where your butt is. Slowly open up into a butterfly. And just feel the stretch right here to the center of the hips. Palms open, collarbones released. Take a full breath in to stay. And full breath out. See if you can release your weight just a bit more onto the ball. Close your legs all the way in to parallel. Use the ground from your feet into your mat. Lift your hips up softly, safely. Slip your ball out and then just open one more time in butterfly and feel the difference in now having your bones fully connect to the ground. Take a full breath in to stay. As you exhale, lengthen your legs all the way out. Reach your arms above head, take a final stretch, shoulders up to ears. Reach like somebody's pulling your wrists and also like somebody's pulling your ankles. You are on a stretch machine right here, working for that length. Inhale and exhale, relax your shoulders, close your rib cage, reach your arms all the way up. Chin nods to sternum, send your gaze forward and try to roll all the way up. Pilates roll up to sit tall. Hands and knuckles in, press the ceiling away, look on up, inhale and exhale, release. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. I hope that you feel the work from going into this flow that's a little bit more rhythmic, a little bit more dynamic. These kinds of classes are great, but just know that you're always having to work your brain and your discipline to get your movement and body into the best place for you. Thank you so much for joining me here on Burn Pilates. If you haven't subscribed to Burn Pilates yet, please click that subscribe button. I release workouts every week and I'm giving you now a little taste of behind the scenes. I love that you are joining me on this journey. I feel so privileged to be on your journey with you. If ever you have any questions, leave me them in the comment section below. Guys, thank you again for joining class. I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I will see you at the next burn.